Hello, dear children. I hope all are good. Okay, today we are going to discuss about the second part of The Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. So, in the last video lesson, we learned about Happy Prince, the statue of Happy Prince, and a swallow, right? So, in the end of that video lesson, we learned about the narration of his own story. The Happy Prince is narrating his own story, right? So he told that um, when he had a human heart, he never cried. Hmm? And now he could see that there were so many people living in misery. Okay, now the statue's heart made of lead. Okay, and only he can become sad and wept. There is no other option. So we have to discuss what happened next. What? Is he not solid gold? Said the swallow to himself. He was too polite to make any personal remark. So when the happy prince was telling his sad story, the swallow was thinking about something else in his mind. So the bird wondered that the statue of the happy prince was not made of solid gold. So the our swallow was surprised. Okay. Far away, continued the statue in a low musical voice. Far away in the little street, there is a poor house. One of the windows is open, and through it I can see a woman seated at a table. Her face is thin and worn, and she has a coarse red hands, all pricked by the needle, for she is a seamstress. The meaning of coarse and seamstress are given here. Coarse means rough. Seamstress means a woman who makes a living by sewing. Okay, so the statue is continuing his story. Okay, so on this particular moment, it spoke in a very musical voice that far away, far away from where they are situated, far away where was a house of a poor woman. The window of her house was open. So from that, the happy prince could see she was sitting near the table. Okay, and her face was thin and she was tired. And her hands also were rough because she had pricked by the needle, because they had been pricked by the needle, because she was a seamstress. So in this we can see that the happy prince is telling about a lady and whom was a seamstress, and she was very thin and also tired, and also her hands were rough and had become red because of it pricked by the needle. And he is continuing the story, continuing the thing. She is embroidering flowers on a satin gown for the loveliest of the queens maid of honor to wear at the next court ball. So the woman was embroidering flowers on a gown. It's for queen's maid, and she have to walk along with the queen during the court ball, court ceremony. So because of that, she is embroidering. In a bed in the corner of the room, her little boy is lying ill. The statue said that the lady and who was embroidering the gown and had a little boy, a child, and who was not well. What happened to him? Just find out. He has a fever and is asking his mother to give him oranges. So the boy was suffering from fever, and also he was asking his mom to give him oranges. Okay, his mother has nothing to give him but river water, so he is crying. So we can see that the mother of the boy was very poor. Okay, so she had no money, so she could only give him water, that also river water. That is why the little boy was crying. Okay. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not bring her the ruby out of my sword hilt? My feet are fastened to this pedestal and I cannot move. From this, we can see two new vocabularies: sword hilt. Sword hilt, which means that the handle of the sword. Pedestal. Pedestal means platform, raised platform. Okay, so here we can see that the Happy Prince is a very kind person, kind statue. Okay, so the Happy Prince is requesting the swallow to take out the ruby stone from the handle of its sword and give it into the lady. Okay, and also it added that the Happy Prince's statue's feet were fastened to the platform. It is joined to the platform, so the statue could not move. So he is requesting Swallow to take out the ruby from its sword and give it to the lady. I am waited for in Egypt, said the swallow. My friends are flying up and down the Nile and talking to the large lotus flowers. Soon they will go to sleep. So the swallow is replying to Happy Prince. So Happy Prince is requested to take out the ruby and give it to the lady. So the swallow replied that it had to go to the Egypt. It had to go to Egypt. And also its friends were waiting for. So the swallow said that its friends were in Egypt and they were flying near the Nile River and talking to the large lotus flowers which grew there. Okay, soon they would go to sleep, and so it wanted to reach Egypt at the earliest. So he wanted to go to Egypt. The prince asked the swallow to stay with him for one night and be his messenger. The boy is so thirsty and the mother so sad, he said. So the statue requesting, again he is requesting the swallow to stay with him for one night. Okay, he asked him to be his messenger and work on his behalf. So he said that the boy was very thirsty and his mother also was very sad. So it should go and give the ruby stone to her. I don't think I like boys, answered the swallow. I want to go to Egypt. So, once again, the swallow opposed his request and said that it did not like boys. So, why should it help that boy? Moreover, it had to go to Egypt. But the Happy Prince looked so sad that the little swallow was sorry. It's very cold here, he said, but he agreed to stay with him for one night and be his messenger. So finally, the Happy Prince was so sad and Swallow felt sorry for him. So finally, he said that it was very cold there, but it would stay him for one night. Okay, and the next morning it would do his work.